Oh my God. Here we go. Good morning, pilgrims. Good morning. On day 2 of the Camino Sanabres, day 25 of the Via de la Plata. And today, oh my God, it is 0 degrees Celsius right now, 32 Fahrenheit. And the height's gonna be only a few degrees more. Right now it's not windy, but there's a wind advisory. So everything is coming at me all at once. I don't have the gear for this weather, man. All I have is this little puffy jacket, these tiny gloves. Oh, it's cold. Last night we had a great night's sleep. I mean, I had a few blankets. That's another thing. I don't have a sleeping bag, so I'm relying on the blankets. And I know for a fact that once you get into Galicia, the municipals don't have blankets. So I may have to sleep like this. Well, what can I say? Today is gonna be either a 25-kilometer day or a 34-kilometer day. One of the two. Why is that? Well, today is supposed to be the stage ends in Santa Marta. There's the possibility to stop at a bar like 13 kilometers from here if you take a variant, which I will do, of course, to have a hot café con leche. And but the problem is that in Santa Marta, there used to be a bar to have dinner there. They closed it, the guy retired. There's a little restaurant that only operates between 1 and 4, meaning there's no dinner there. There's a supermarket a kilometer before the town where we can stop, buy supplies, and then cook at the Albergue and have, you have to buy also for breakfast. So I'm considering continuing walking an extra 11 kilometers to another town where the situation is not that different, except that the supermarket is across the street from the Albergue, and also between here and Monbuey, we have to climb, okay? So if from here to Santa Marta and that town that's 11 kilometers away, it's kind of flat. So I can advance today, do a 34, stay flat, and then do the climb to Monbuey, which is a climb, like 200, 300 meters. Tomorrow, which is when it's really supposed to rain all day. Actually, all week it's gonna rain. But today, the forecast says that if it's gonna rain, it will start around 3 or 4 in the afternoon. So I got a lot on my plate. I bought things yesterday at the supermarket, which is gonna come in nice today. I got a bunch of fruits, cheese, crackers, you name it. All right, let's get out of this town and out into the countryside. What a day. This vlog and this series are brought to you by Garcia Dreams. Together, we build a better future. I took a risk and it paid off. The Camino kind of goes through the town, does this whole loop around, follows the main road for a little bit. But I think I was home with my Google Earth Pro app open on my computer and I saw this trail and I'm like, let's give it a try. And it worked out. So I think I shaved off about probably about a kilometer, not much. I'm actually seeing the first pilgrim that left before me is up ahead. I'm gonna catch up to him. Wow, man, now that I'm walking, it's starting to warm up and it feels nice. Look at those clouds. Yep. You know what worries me the most? I don't have a sleeping bag. I've been relying on the blankets at the albergues. I have a liner, the Sanabrés, what's it called? Inferno. Yes, I bought this back in 2010 for my mountain expeditions. I think I took it to Kilimanjaro, and I've been using it ever since. Sometimes when it's like warm weather, it's just like having, a little blanket, a small sheet around you, and it also keeps the bed bugs away. I've never had any issues with bed bugs on the Camino, and that's probably the reason why. So I don't know, man. I don't know what's gonna happen with the blanket situation. I do have a few reservations in private albergues along the way from here to Santiago, but it's the municipals that worry me. Beautiful landscape. It's starting to change. I say that every day. And you know, long gone are the day when we used to go through those small towns where everything was painted white. You remember those days? Yeah, I just had that thought the other day, and I'm like, what happened? Where did it change? Now we're back into like the rocky, muddy walls that you see, that you used to seeing in the north of Spain. I mean, we're so close to the Camino Frances, which is what I know like the back of my hand. And this has come in handy. Oh man, this is actually a fishing hat, so it's for the sun mostly. But you know, I just put it over and it blocks the wind in combination with my hoodie, which is below this. Look at that. Multiple layers. It's all about layering here. This is all I have. This is all I have. I keep saying it. So I don't know. There's a woman that today she decided to take the bus back to Zamora and then take a train to Orense and continue from then on. You know, she really wants to get to Santiago and she has a few blisters. That's how it goes out here. Everybody has their own Camino. Didn't I learn that in Japan? Hell yeah. Well, here we go. After walking for 10 kilometers, doing a couple of like 50-meter climbs, we made it to the split on the road that I mentioned to you guys. The official Camino, making a right turn to Bercianos, has zero support. You continue walking straight to Villanueva, and there's a bar, and let us hope that it is open. Either way, I think it takes the same amount of time or distance to get to where they both join again. So let's make that left turn or continue walking straight to Villanueva and enjoy a hot cup of coffee. Oh yeah. Made it to Villanueva at 10:30, according to that backwards clock that I saw in this bar, the only one in town. That first it looked like it was closed, but when I give the door a push, turned out to be open. And oh my God, what an oasis. There's a supermarket here too. I had a café con leche that was it just hit the spot. And they also had tapas there. So I went for a bacalao with eggs and a little eggs sandwich too. There are the yellow arrows to lead us out of the town. Sleepy town, there's really nobody out on the streets. I made it here with two other pilgrims, a Spaniard and the Italian, and we thought for sure that bar was gonna be closed. But we got lucky. The weather has been cooperating amazingly well. Not much wind, every now and then you get a little gust. The sun is out, so it raises the temperature. Can't believe I won warmer temperatures, but that's the case. And now we're leaving. Woo. Well, this is definitely a treat. I saw one of the wine cellars and I go, is that door open? And I gave it a small push and it opened, and I made it down here. There's really nothing, it's empty, it's pitch black. But I'm really hoping this is not like a pilgrim trap and the door will close shut and I get locked in here. No sir. I made it out. Here's the door. Let's close it. Ooh, I liked it. I liked it a lot. Very cool. Pretty cool to see this burned out forest slowly coming back to life. And speaking of growing, you want to buy some strawberries, man? I got a few from the supermarket yesterday. So I'm gonna be snacking on strawberries, so just a few, as I make my way through this barren desert. There must have been a wildfire here and it decimated the area, but it's coming back to life, which is it's pretty cool. And what do we have here? This looks like a little hut. I love it when people build stuff for the pilgrims. I think this is like a rest area. Yes, it is. Ooh, nice. Made out of straws, huh? On a sunny day, this will be an oasis on the Camino. They even have a trash can. Not bad. Not bad at all. Ooh, I'm loving this stage. It's just a little bit after noon and I made it to Santa Croya. I went to a butcher shop, pretty decent sized butcher shop. I opened the door and there's like 20 locals and they all just look at me and we have a little moment there. But then after that, I saw the supermarket, small, it was open, went inside, pretty cramped space. They have the basics, more than that, but nothing that I really needed for the way, of course. There's another supermarket in the town where I'm staying today. Let us hope that that one is not closed and I should have bought something in this one. But I don't think that's gonna be the case. I'm gonna cross over the bridge, make it to Santa Marta. So I should be less than a kilometer away following this river, which I think we're gonna follow for the rest of the afternoon. So there's a bar on the other side. I'm gonna get something to drink, something to eat, and head on. Can you tell that the weather is shifting? Yes, sir. I can see it in the plains. All the clouds rolling in, going over the mountains. There's a shift in the weather, in the wind. It got a little cooler, and I'm like, yep, it's gonna rain in the afternoon. So let's try to minimize the time that I'm out here. Just in case that it does start raining, I get less than an hour's worth. What a day, man. What a day. Just the logistics of it and just to have faith that everything is gonna work out, that I'm gonna get to that albergue, which doesn't have a person in there taking care of the pilgrims. You have to like go look for the keys, I think either in the supermarket or in the house right across. So adding more layers of complexity. If you don't speak Spanish, then that would be even worse, I guess. I've just put myself in your shoes when I'm in another country like France or Italy or even in Japan, and I know that the language barrier is an issue. But I think I should be fine. All I care about is that I could get a bite to eat in that supermarket and that they have blankets in the albergue. Last night, by the way, we were able to turn on the heater. I think I noticed this a few days ago where I was at a municipal albergue and they had a whole board telling you that if you have all the appliances on, the breaker is gonna go. So you could have, let's say, the water heater and the laundry room, but not the stove, or the stove and the laundry room, but not the heater. And I think that's what happened here last night, yesterday, when I had the heater on. Somebody was probably taking a shower, and the breaker went. But I was able to put my clothes right next to it, and this morning it was all nice and dry. One day at a time. That's how we get to Santiago and beyond. Made it to Santa Marta at 12:45, and I saw the bar that's been closed since last October. And then walking here towards the end of the town, there's this restaurant that was my one and only hope to have a bite to eat. But I see a sign in there that says, "By reservations, please." And there's the phone number. On Google, it says it opens at 1. Should I wait? What time is it? It's 12:43. I don't know. If I don't see life inside, I'm just gonna continue on and just hit my supplies. This is so interesting. Something, I don't know what it was, something kept telling me, call that number, and I did. And the guy answered, and he was inside. He's like, yeah, I'm about to open. So he opened the door, I went in. What a great atmosphere. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, is this like a high-end restaurant? And the owner was so nice and helpful, just talking to me the whole time. I had the menú del día for 15 euros, which I started off with an incredible ensalada mixta, or the mixed salad, and red wine, water, bread, of course. And then as the second course, I asked him, you know, it was a typical chicken or lomo, but then I saw San Jacobo with potatoes, and I'm like, what is this? And he was trying to explain it to me, and I decided, you know what, let me just give it a try. And it turned out to be ham with cheese, breaded, deep fry, and potatoes. It was nice. Everything was incredible. And then, of course, I forgot, hence why I'm going back into the town, that in this church here is where the oldest carving or statue of Santiago is located. I was told by the hospitalero last night that this used to be in a monastery that no longer exists, and then it was transferred to like a church, like a Romanesque church, and then in the 1930s, or 1930, it was rediscovered and it was moved here. So it's been here for 90 years already, and I cannot believe that I almost forgot and didn't get a shot. So I'm almost there. Maybe I'll get to see one of the pilgrims walking into the town. I still got 11 kilometers to go. You know, I'm sure it's gonna be more than that. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't look like it's gonna rain yet. I mean, at 3 in the afternoon, it's like a 30% chance, so it's not guaranteed that it's gonna happen. So I'm gonna take that lunch and consider it dinner, and then I'll improvise something tonight. It's interesting, you know, talking to you guys about the language barrier. If I hadn't called, I would have thought that the place was closed. I would have walked on and complained about how I missed the chance to have lunch, blah, 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 blah. And that just makes me think that I've probably done that in other countries where I don't speak the language. For sure, I've done this in France and Japan and Italy, and that's how it goes. Oh, here's the church. Just in case, I don't know if I'll be able to go there, but I made it to Casadilla. It is 4 o'clock. I'm covering the microphone. There's so much wind, and it looks like it's about to start raining any minute now. Yes, I can see it in the distance, and there's the sign for the supermarket. I was told that I could go there and they would call the person in charge of opening the albergue. If not, I think the guy across the street has it too. There are two options. Let's see who else is staying there today. I don't know, this seems like an offbeat town, somewhere in between. Maybe if you started the stage where I had my second breakfast today, then it would be a 25-kilometer day. So I don't know, we'll see. New faces. That supermarket doesn't look open, of course. All right, so plan B is the guy across the street. Oof, how exciting. So let's say winter from 5 to 8. All right, nobody at the supermarket, and the door is closed. Is there a number here? This is gonna be interesting, and it's starting to drizzle. Yes, it is. Is this the albergue? Or is it the one next door? And that would be hilarious that I'm in the wrong place. Well, let's give the next door a try. Oh, it's this one. Yeah, but that was a government building for sure. Hello? Hola? There's nobody here. Servicios. Let's go upstairs. Here it is. And I'm all by myself. Please, please. Blankets. Yeah. Okay. I'm all alone for now. I got supplies in my backpack. Maybe, just maybe, the supermarket opens at 5 and I can stop by after taking a shower, of course. Where are the lights? Let's start turning on lights here. Toilet, shower. Shower on this side. Shower on this side. All right. There's a stamp. And it's a donativo. Perfect. Let there be light. All right. Enough of this. Oh, yeah. It is 6 in the afternoon, and after some showers, it was raining. Yeah, kind of looked like it was snowing too. Another pilgrim showed up. She's staying back there. And the kids here from the town, they're hanging out in the stairs, and there's no locks in this place. So I went really quickly to the supermarket just to get some supplies. It was open, but there wasn't much selection for things that are just single use, you might say. Everything is in bulk and quantity. So I got a couple of things for tomorrow, and I'm just gonna eat everything that I bought yesterday at the supermarket. What can I say? Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention to you guys that today I didn't switch my shoes. I tried to go all the way with Salomons, and they worked out great. So I think I have already broken them in, and soon I'll be able to get rid of this pair of Ultras and lighten down the load, you might say. Yep, it's gonna be an interesting night. Open Albergue. Last time I was at an open Albergue was in Portugal on the coastal Camino, and you guys know how that turned out. Hopefully, we won't have that issue here. So it is time to thank the troll angel of the day, and today is going to be Carmen and Chris. Thank you guys so much. Tomorrow it's gonna be a rainy day all day. There's no escaping it. I was checking out the weather app here and in where is it that I'm heading tomorrow? Monbuey. It's gonna rain all day. It's gonna snow tonight, so we might get to see some frost or some snow on the ground, and then it's just gonna be one of those. See you then.